Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. So today, oh yeah, I brought back that classic intro. I know you guys wanted that, so I'm giving what you guys want. So we're talking about new products that are going to be added to the Clean by Pan the Organizer lineup of car care products. We launched in September of 2024 with very high success. I'm grateful and thankful for you guys because you made it a global success. We're in many different countries now. We started off with USA and Canada, then moved to the UK and the rest of Europe, Japan and Australia coming very soon, depending on when you're watching this video, followed by Brunei, hopefully South America eventually, but we're expanding globally. And I want to thank the boys, Eddie and Jamie over at the House of Rags, because they take care of my global distribution and they've been doing an amazing work signing deals and getting different distributors in different countries to be able for me to bring these products to you guys. And you've made this a tremendous success. So we're adding 6 new products to the lineup in early spring of 2025 if all goes as planned for the new detailing season. So we're talking about a high pH or an alkaline or what I call a decon shampoo, then an acidic wash, or this is a low pH soap, or what I like to call a demineralizing shampoo. Due to popular demand, we're going to have an exterior quick detailer. That's going to be kick butt. For the chemical decontamination, we're adding an iron remover. So I'm going through the developmental stages, bringing you behind the scenes of the R&D and testing. So I think this is kind of cool. So obviously these are not the final labels and not the final products. We're going to have a water spot remover, again in that chemical decon spirit. And last but not least, again through heavy demand, a wheel and tire cleaner. So kind of a 2-in-1, clean the tires, clean the wheels kind of business, right? So I do different videos for each separate product. And today we're focusing on the iron remover. So again, as you guys know, we launched in September 2024, and as soon as we launched, we were already hard at work with the R&D and testing of the future products I knew I wanted to add. So my channel started in April of 2016, and in April of 2025, it will be 9 years that I'm on YouTube. And through those 9 years, well, as you guys know, I like to reply to every single comment on YouTube. I've interacted with you guys over those years and was able to accumulate a lot of data, not only from feedback from what you guys wanted, what you guys liked, but also what I have been testing, not only the 9 years on YouTube, but the 28 years of detailing experience. I started when I was 16 and I now turned 44. I'm getting old, time flies, but I digress. So all that experience, I was always looking for the best products, the best brands, and got a lot of insight through all that testing on what I would like for my brand and also what I think you guys would like as well. And your feedback was crucial, and I want your feedback on these as well. So yes, we are in the final stages of testing and approving. So I'm getting to a point where I'm quite confident about these formulations, but I want you guys to know. So drop comments in the comment sections. What do you guys look for in an iron remover or any other of these products when those videos drop? And don't worry, I'll leave the links to the Clean by Pan the Organizer products in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So an iron remover, what does this do? So if you've been watching the channel or you've probably tested some yourself, this is the clear liquid that when you spray it on the surface, it usually turns to a red or a purple tint. That's the color reacting to show you that there's a chemical reaction with the iron particles. So where does iron contamination come from? It can come from many things. Industrial fallout, your brake dust, that's the common source, rail dust, a bunch of stuff, right? So those iron particles, when they fly off your brakes, for example, or they come from that rail dust, they're usually, if you look at them under a microscope, they have jagged edges. So what they do is they embed themselves like teeth right into your clear coat, and they get stuck there, and just a regular washing with a pH neutral soap will not remove those. What happens over time, you're going to see that on lighter colored vehicles, though they become oxidized, they rust basically, and that's where you see those orange rust specks on white cars, silver cars. All cars have rust contamination, but you mostly see them because of the contrast, right, on a lighter colored vehicle. So those particles, to be able to be removed, they need a chemical that reacts on the surface. So what an iron remover does is when you spray that, so it goes from translucent and it changes colors when the reaction happens. So through an exothermic reaction, what does that mean, Pan? Well, it means that it generates or dissipates heat, right, when it's reacting. What happens to those jagged edges? So the reaction accelerates the oxidation of that surface, right? So instead of being jagged, that oxidation kind of makes them more smooth, those edges, rounds them off, if you want, in an accelerated form. That's when you see the color change on the surface, that red, that purple. It indicates visually that the reaction is happening on the surface. And it doesn't mean that it melts the iron particles. Some people say incorrectly that iron removers melt iron particles. That's not what they do. They do not melt the metal. They accelerate again the oxidation, and they transform that outer surface from jagged edges to more rounded off, and that means they can be water soluble. So when you're done with the reaction, that's why we flush the surface with a strong stream of water from a garden hose with enough pressure, or with your pressure washer, and that's going to flush them out. If there's anything still left, you can move on with the clay stage or repeat the iron removing stage, and usually that will get rid of the majority of the iron particles that are on there. So it's not a magic thing, it's a chemical reaction, right? So in the demo, you're going to see one thing that was important for me. I'm not a fan of iron removers that take forever to react. I want something that is quick to react, and this one, that was one of the focuses. I want something super strong that reacts almost instantly. And if you look at the wheels on my Porsche, we know that German brakes, they dissipate a lot of brake dust. My previous 911 Turbo S had carbon ceramics. They don't generate any iron particles, so I loved that. But on the Cayenne S, that wasn't an option when I ordered mine, so I have the regular steel rotors. Super high performing, but they generate brake dust. And you're going to see as soon as we spray it on, the color change happened almost immediately to that purple tint, and indicating just how strong this is. And I was very, very excited. It has good cling time on the surface, and it just reacted super fast. So we still have a little ways to go as far as testing, but this, again, many iterations of this, it was important for me to have high power. Now, there's been some advancements. Some have tried to remove the odor, or at least tackle it as much as possible, because traditionally you're going to have thioglycolic acid, or TGA, the active ingredient that does that color change in iron removers, and that tackles those iron particles or the brake dust contamination, right? And so that typically smells like rotten eggs. If you try to move to other chemistry, it won't be as efficient, at least in the testing that I've tried, right? And if you try to remove it entirely as well, then you're not having the strong chemicals. So for me, it was, do I go more for the low odor, or I go for more high performance? You guys know me at this point. I will always choose better performance. So this still smells like rotten eggs in the bottle. We still manage, at least it cost more, but not for you guys. We're swallowing the costs on this, but we went for the raw ingredient that has a lower odor. So it's not eliminating completely. It still smells like donkey cheeks in there. It's rotten egg scent in the bottle, but at least when you're using it, it's not as bad, but you're still going to feel that rotten egg scent. But I wanted high performance. So work in a well-ventilated space. If you work outside, is fine. As long as you never let iron removers dry on the surface. Do not work in direct sunlight with iron removers. Super important. So keep the surface wet. Keep it going. Spray this onto the surface, and you can let it react. 1 to 2 minutes is more than enough. Then you're going to flush it off. Always start with a clean vehicle, by the way, right? Wash your car first, because you don't want the iron remover to be tackling all other sorts of dirt before it gets to what it's supposed to do. Wash your car first, and then you use this. You can use it on a wet surface once you washed and rinsed the vehicle, but you're diluting a little bit, so it's less efficient. Doesn't matter as much if you don't have crazy contamination, but if you have a lot of brake dust contamination, try the vehicle, spray this on the dry paint, let it dwell 1 to 2 minutes. Never let it dry. Don't work in direct sunlight. Rinse it off, and then you're good to go. Either you repeat or you move on to the clay stage afterwards, because usual mechanical decontamination for other embedded contamination is also there, because an iron remover does not remove the rest of the embedded contaminations. This is only meant to tackle iron particles. Keep that in mind. Those are 2 separate steps. Clay bar steps or clay steps, and iron removing steps are 2 dedicated different types of contamination removing steps. So yeah, you can do that and repeat. If you want a stronger cleaning power as well, you can spray on the surface, and then you take a damp microfiber wash mitt or a microfiber towel, and you agitate lightly on the surface. This will help to kind of work the product into the surface for more cleaning potential. You've seen me do that in a few videos, right? So this is no different. And then also, well, you guys know I have the synthetic perforated decontamination towel in the Clean by Pan, the organizer lineup. So it was important for me to be able to have my iron remover act as a clay lubricant with those newer generation synthetic perforated decontamination towels. And it works amazingly well. So the traditional way of using it, you'd dunk your clay towel either in a rinseless wash solution or in your soapy solution to have lubrication in the towel. 1 spray into the towel, 1 or 2 sprays on the surface. Where you applied the spray is where you put the clay towel, fold it in 4s to give you enough buffer, and then back and forth, up and down, left and right, gently. You rinse that off, and as you notice on screen, this did not ruin the ceramic coating that was on there. It is unaffected, and those are non-abrasive. So the new generation synthetic perforated decontamination towels, like the Clean by Pan towel, they do not contain abrasives, so they do not mar the surface, assuming you're using it correctly with appropriate lubrication and you're not applying too much force on that. Let the towel do its thing, and you're going to remove the embedded contamination. So you're doing the iron removal combined with the clay towel stage. You're using a lot less product because it's only one spray on the towel, 1 or 2 sprays on the surface, and that's it, instead of spraying a bunch of sprays on every panel. So you're more efficient. So you can do that and combine the Clean by Pan clay towel with the iron remover. So quick to react, very, very potent. I can't wait for you guys to try this as well. This is going, if you have a lot of contamination and the quickness of speed and that color change to that purple kind of tint, if you have a lot of contamination on the surface, get ready to see that like be bleeding in that purple tint. And I wanted it to be very quick to react so you guys don't waste time, but also to tackle that heavier brake dust kind of contamination on there. So this should be a crazy, crazy winner, as long as we'll have to stomach that disgusting rotten egg smell. I'm being honest, truthful with you guys. That's super important to me. But honestly, when you're using it, even in my garage, in my controlled environment, so this is a closed environment, I was using it. And when you're spraying it, it is not as bad as some others that I've smelled before that cut my breath away. So yeah, you do smell the rotten egg, especially in the bottle, but when using it, it's not that bad. You guys will let me know, but at least we went for the low odor version of that active ingredient. So again, the raws cost more, they perform better, but the compromise is, yeah, it's still going to smell. So until the day comes where I'm fully satisfied that we can have an unscented version that performs the way I wanted to, that's when maybe V2 or V3 will happen, if I see that technology truly be available and something that will work well. So that's for the iron remover. Again, links in the description to all the Clean by Pan stuff. We're aiming for a early spring of 2025 release date for all these 6 products: the high pH soap, the acid soap, quick detail spray, iron remover, water spot remover, and the wheel and tire cleaner. So check those out. Give me your thoughts. What do you want from an iron remover, and what are some of your favorite ones on the market? Drop comments in the comment sections. And in the meantime, guys, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you all on the next one.